It's just Stone Soup again. Anyway, welcome. I popped up in hell again. Your poems can get me out of hell. Maybe not out of work tomorrow, but definitely out of hell for a little while. Special pledges. I'll send them the TikTok videos I create based on work that are not going to be seen until 20 years after I die.
Oh, come on, Chad. The poetry's not going to be that bad tonight.
All right. Thanks. But this is Stone Soup. This is an all open mic. Hopefully, we'll be able to announce next week's feature. We'll be taking the Thanksgiving week off, but then back to end November in style with another TBA feature. And hopefully, and we got another friend coming in. So thanks to everyone who has joined us. And I'm just going to do a quick, there we go. Much love to John Lane and Carol Weston, who sent RSVP regards, not being able to make it tonight. So, but we have all of you, and I'm in hell. So that's a feature. I'm just gonna quickly take a screenshot of this, just being like, I'm comfortable here. It's better than the heating system in my house, but we will definitely better than my apartment in South Boston. But we are getting ready to go. I have spoken too much. Let's get to the good stuff. The real reason you're here for. I'll let you with thermal energy. Yes, thank you. For a transcript of everything that's written, write down everything I say real fast because I reread everything out. Anyway, up next, let's go, or up first, I should say. Let's go to Patricia Kerrigan.
All right. Well, it's relating to what's going on right now. And I better not read just a certain readings because I will get Haza Haiku. October's eclipse wears incendiary ring. Hate marries war. Sunlit sky burns over cracked dome. Cat clings to child. In mother's blood, genocide wraps newborns. Who will bury the dead? Can I read one more? Okay. This was published in New Verse News on, I think, Friday the 13th. Media speaks. The internet is a war zone. Violence seizes eyes. Rhetoric bangs on eardrums. Another report shoves smoke up nostrils, cuts vocal cords from speaking the truth. The zombie apocalypse, handcuffed to take sides. Justice walks amid bombed out cities, wears bandages and blood of innocent minds, limps on crutches, unshielded, determined to breathe life back into the walking dead. Finds peace trapped in the rubble, its tattered feathers drip in blood and ash. Inside its beak, a scorched branch of an unlived tree, 2 leaves still intact. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Patricia. Let's bring it now over to Miss Jan Rowe. Jan, take it away.
Hi, this is from the Black Seed Writers Weekly. This is an actual event that happened during or after the group. Very short, it's called Violence versus Peace. One recently housed person wanted to hurt a mentally other unhoused person. He objectified, if I say homeless. I was urging peace. He justified saying, do unto others as they do unto you. I told him he was misquoting scripture. The scripture says, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. He agreed that changes things. Thank you.
Ah,
That's cute, isn't it?
yes, it's good.
Thank you, Jan. Up next, let's go with let's do Mr. John Wizik.
Okay, so this is a book by Arthur Russell called "At the Car Wash," and it's from Rattle Chapbooks. I posted a link in the chat. I just think this is really marvelous. I heard him read on a Zoom reading, so I'll read one of his poems to you. It's called "How to Replace a Toilet." First, have a father, one who owns a car wash, where he employs poor black men, preferably those who've come north in the Great Migration. But any poor black men will do as long as they have historical disadvantages that have translated into self-destructive behavior that makes them targets for disdain and predatory labor practices. Grow up at his kitchen table, hear his precise mimicry of their accents, mockery of their foibles, his weirdly intimate knowledge of their weaknesses and hopes, bordering on and even bleeding over into affection that never reaches all the way to respect. Go to work for your father. Start off drying the cars at the exit end and gradually learn all of the jobs while inhaling his attitudes towards the men who work beside you, although you made differently, or is it just youth and naive sympathy appreciate their struggle? See them come to work still drunk from the night before while you spent your summers at summer camp, learning to smoke pot behind the bunkhouse. Get paid the same net $1.25 an hour the men get, with the difference that they are living on it and you are saving up to buy a Sony stereo music system to play Carole King Tapestry. Learn how to send men home with no work on slow days, how to absorb their abuse, their special hatred of your father, blooming when drunk, transferred to you, how to resist their requests for new uniforms to replace the worn ones that you send to the local dry cleaner for patching. Lean over their shoulders as they vacuum the cars to stop them from sucking up the change in the ashtrays. Follow them around the corner to stop them from buying beer on their 45-minute lunch for which your father charges them an hour. One Saturday at 7 a.m., when Jerry Howard uses his one call from jail to call your father, go to the Brooklyn Men's House of Detention on Borum Place to bail him out after he got arrested during a fight with his wife, because Jerry is your best entrance driver and it's Saturday, 2 days after a messy snow, and you may wash 1,000 cars. Another time, find Frederick Hyde hiding inside his locker after closing, hoping to burglarize the place if you lock him in. And listen, always listen, even when you argue against him, to your father's embattled justifications for stealing from the men's tip box, for withholding taxes from men he pays off the books, and for giving them alarm clocks for Christmas, but only if they come to work that day. So you are ready one morning when someone tells you that the men's toilet is broken, and you go into the cubicle to see that it's not the flush valve or the toilet seat, but the commode itself, the vitreous bowl that is cracked with an obvious fissure from base to rim, where someone has jammed a flask-sized liquor bottle upside down in the drain and evidently stepped on the base of it, hoping that the bottle, not the commode, would break apart and flush away so that the bottle would not be found in the trash and raise suspicions that he'd been drinking on the job. Go to your father where he sits behind his gray steel desk making tea and tell him what happened, and wait while he squeezes the tea bag against the spoon and swings it deftly by the string into the waste paper basket before he looks up at you and over the half moon reading glasses and says, "Well, fix it, sonny." Admit you don't know how to change a toilet. Watch your father take a stubby pencil from his back pocket and draw a schematic diagram of a toilet on a writing tablet. Listen to him explain with the same patience and easygoing charm he used when he talked to your teachers at Parents' Day. The two bolts, the wax ring, the pipe wrenches, the Teflon tape. Then make up a list of parts for you and send you in his Lincoln to Davis and Warshaw to get what you'll need. Then call you back at the door to remind you to put a board over the toilet before you go, or they'll use it while you're gone, and you'll have to clean out their shit by hand. Arthur Russell at the Car Wash. The poem is How to Replace a Toilet. There's a link in the chat if you want to buy it.
Thank you so much, John. That was fantastic. That's a fantastic. I'm definitely grabbing that book. Having a couple of technical difficulties, so what I'm going to do next is bring this over to, let's see who we go to next. Yes, let's go to Mr. Bill Lewis.
Well, thank you so much, Chadford. It is just a glory and an honor to be here. I'm just feeling wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. I cannot tell you how glorious life is. I mean, I've never been dead. So perhaps being dead is also cool. But I'm not in a hurry to find out. I'm just enjoying the life as it comes to me. So let's be joyful for the good stuff we got. I got, so over the weekend was the Youth Leadership Conference, where I was giving basically 2 hours of delivery on how to speak in public and leading the kids through some exercises. And I gave that speech that I was practicing here. And damn, it done work good. The kids were excited. We have 36 kids there, high schoolers, and we did our bit, and they really appreciated it. They were yelling and clapping. So I'm just happy as a clam. So life is beautiful. I love working with kids. Kids are kids these days, you know. The good ones are really, really good. I love the kids that I get to work with. It is so wonderful. And I mean, they're going to have a better life than I do. That's sort of my raison d'etre in life, is that my students will live a better life than I did. And I get all wacko about that. Anyway, so I'm just feeling good about that. And the kids are having fun. And my students shall have a better life than I did. Is that not what we live for? To pass on our experiences, our concerns. This is the best time ever in the history of the world to be alive. And next year shall be better still, and better still after that. As long as we do ourselves and take, as long as we do ourselves our holy duty to our children, yes, life is still hard and it shall remain so, but less so. A pandemic has come and gone in 3 years. Hardly a person under 50 died. We are so blessed, blessed by the hard work of our ancestors. So we, who are the ancestors of the future, we must be doing our parts now while we still live. Let us be the ancestors that they, our children, point to with pride.
Go. Let's see who we have next. Yes, if she can press *6 to unmute herself. Let's bring up next Miss Nancy Dodson. Oh, looks like you're already unmuted. Looks like you're muted again. So just press *6 again and you should be all set. Nancy, press *6. Now you're unmuted.
I'm going to read a haiku about Gaza. Endangered species, warfare occurs without help in the Middle East.
Thank you so much, Nancy. Who are we going to next? I know who we're going to go to next. Let's go next to Nava the Butterfly, if she's able to read. I think I just gave her fright again, so.
Yeah, I'm pretty sick. I don't even know if I can get through a whole poll.
All right, we'll forego it today. Next time you owe us more. I'm joking, but of course. All right then. Let's go next to. Let's go next to. I think the last person to be able to finish this round robin, Mr. James Van Looy.
Thanks, Chad. I have my piece here called Beat the Press, as they used to call it. After visiting with a poet friend at the Star Market outdoor seating for Starbucks, I walk on back up to the Red Line train on my old grocery shopping route when I had lived on Savin Hill for over 18 years past, where the Globe newspaper had printed its rag for decades, and I could still look into the press room area, but of course, the presses were gone, just these big empty bays where once a mighty industrial engine turned. And I knew this would be the case because I'd been at demonstrations for Julian Assange, publisher, who put the Iraq and Afghanistan memos online and is being held in extradition proceeding in London's Belmarsh prison as the US, that's us, seeks to bring him to America on charges that would put him in Supermax in Colorado for terrorists for a full 175 years. And his father and brother came to Boston Common so human protest that then we had been in front of the new Globe offices, huge glass and steel, such a social inequality skyscraper, chanting at those tinted windows behind which they called cops on us. Even as this is the 50th anniversary of publishing of Pentagon Papers, which are the history rhymes, not repeats, bookends of current age time bomb, arc of war crimes of Vietnam, genocide, cover-up, so direct connect to assassination and torture in Iraq and Afghanistan, documented by our own troops, published by Julian and the New York Times, which owns the Globe now, I guess. And I have a song here.
Oh. Oh.
And this is Meneer de President Boudewijn de Groot, a Harlem songwriter who wrote this song in 1965. It means, of course, Mr. President, rest well. Meneer de President, wel te rusten, slaap maar lekker in je mooie witte huis. Denk maar niet te veel aan alle verkoesten, waar jongens zitten en zijn weer van thuis. Denk vooral niet aan de 46 doden, die vergissing last met dat bombardement. And forget het hier aan de 10 geboden, die als good Christians erkent. Denk maar niet aan al die jonge Franse soldaten en zijn sterven in de fury truck en nak. Laat de passen wezenlijk maar praten, meneer de president. Slaapzak, meneer de president. Slaapzak. So sleep tight, Mr. President. Thank you.
Oh. Thank you very much, James. I think we'll do a second round robin for the sake of Nava. I don't think she could stay on for a third without completely wiping out. Okay, I'm talking about me, but it's good to have this happen, and hopefully I'll be able to announce the next feature, and I'll do haste in the next 48 hours. We thought we were going camping this weekend, but I think with the near almost below 30 weather, it might not be viable. We tried.
Come on, Chad. If you really love camping, you're going to do it. Don't let the weather stop you.
In the next pre-YouTube recording, I'll tell you how I stayed out with two friends in the most unprepared night, like camping night out in like 30 below weather, which it's a miracle I lived. and our only sustenance was a jug of Gatorade. Like we actually had a shared jug of Gatorade that you could pour for multiple people. But by the time we had gotten there and settled in and failed to create a fire 3 times, the Gatorade was frozen. So we were truly screwed. But that'll be for another time. Let us go now to the top of the list with Patricia, if she has one more she'd like to do.
Yeah, we're going to read something for Sinead O'Connor. Feels so different. I feel so different from the child who sits alone, but she is not alone. I am by her side, but she can't see me, hear me, feel my hand on her shoulder. But she will be all right. I can't hug her, dry her tears, fight those demons that mock her. I can't tell her not to worry about the harsh years ahead, and that woos will be open unannounced at night. But she will be all right. I feel so different now, but I'm learning to remember her, care for her, live for her, honor her, love her, because I am still her, and I will be all right. Thanks. Chad, you're muted.
I just realized that. What I said earlier was that was lovely. Thank you, Patricia. And now we go to Jan Rowe.
Okay, this is a reading coming up from, actually there's James there this is open mic on Tuesday. And we're going to be at the BPL December 6th, but this just came out. And there's 2 editors. And it's funny, I was reading it from the back to the front. And the one I wanted to read was mentioned by one.
It's probably online too, right, huh?
Yeah, it probably is online.
You could just, if you went to the Cathedral Church of St. Paul in Boston, you could probably find that on their website.
And
it has wonderful pictures.
Yeah, it really does. And I'm hoping that I can find. Oh yes, this is one of the prompts. What happened last night? And this is by Michael Machella. I was at the rental car place, relaxing, lying down, and it was 10:30, so I was getting ready to leave to go to my regular part of the airport. But I fall back asleep, and when I open my eyes, who's coming towards me? A state trooper. I know the guy. He threw me out before. They don't get mad. They just make you leave. So he got in his wagon and left, and now I'm standing outside. I know he'll be back. Eventually, I took the 55 bus and I said, let me jump off at Terminal B2. It's crowded there, so I can kind of mingle with the people. I find one seat, a couple of seats away from a lady, and I'm good. I slept there a good 4 or 5 hours. I went in the bathroom around 4:30, washed up, and came back into town for breakfast at St. Francis. The worst part is, I worked 7 years at the airport. I used to collect the carts outside. They don't acknowledge that.
Thank you, Jan. And now let's see what sweet, neat words we have from John Wesnick. Another one from the Car Wash chapbook or one of his own?
No, something different. Morris Pill Bottle is back in the case of the missing eardrops. And I'll post a link to the story if you want to read the rest of it. Yeah, Mom, I know the rent's due. Now I don't want a hot pocket. Why don't you tell me I have a client? Send him up. I hung up and smoothed the race car pattern sheets on my double bed. I answered the knock on my bedroom door and found an aardvark in the hallway. He was a medium-sized burrowing mammal with a pig-like snout, protruding ears, and was not to be confused with a South American anteater. Is this the Pill Bottle Detective Agency? Morris Pill Bottle, at your service. I shook his claw. Pardon the mess. My office is being remodeled after the giant meteor. I ushered him into my room. What can I do for you? My packages keep getting stolen out of the mail room. He hiked up his tweed pants, sat on my bed, and looked at the faded Ferris Bueller poster tacked to the wall. The cops won't do anything. What kind of packages are we talking about? $800 worth of earwax removal drops. Seems like a lot. Hey, I got waxy ears. Is that a crime? All right, all right. One look at his powerful digging claws told me he was one animal I didn't want to get on the wrong side of. What's your name and where do you live? My name's Albania, and I live in Manchester, New Hampshire. How does $200 a day plus expenses sound? I asked. Like rap music on a chalkboard, he walked to the dusty bookshelf and picked up my third place karate trophy from 30 years ago. I suppose you could write off your losses. I turned back to the Call of Duty game on my laptop. All right, he replaced my trophy. I'll hire you because it's the principle of the thing. I mean, if you can't trust 300 strangers living in the same apartment complex, who can you trust? I stuffed dead batteries and used fluorescent bulbs in a FedEx box along with an AirTag tracker and shipped it to Bania's address. In advance of the New Hampshire primary, Manchester was full of grifters trying to convince the rubes that the agendas of the rich and powerful were their own. There were more MacGuffins, red herrings, con games, and bald-faced lies than in 1,000 David Mamet plays. With all the candidates in town, most hotels were booked, but I snagged a penthouse suite at the Hilton. Wayne Fillmore, the incumbent, was running unopposed for the Democratic nomination, except for the fringe candidate, Rudolph Floyd Kovacs, who proposed outlawing the number 0 to erase the national debt. The package was still in transit, so I strolled to the SNHU arena to attend Fillmore's rally. I pressed my fedora to my head against the gale force winds, stepped into the lobby, and found a seat on the bleachers. I was alone as a hydrogen atom in interstellar space because Fillmore stirred up this much enthusiasm as an IRS Schedule C. This was a good thing. The more boring a politician is, the better. Those who were exciting sent us to war, took away our rights, or bankrupted nations. Hitler was exciting, so were Stalin and Mao. Fillmore's robot avatar rolled onto the stage and stopped behind a podium marked with the presidential seal. This was a stopgap measure as the 92-year-old president's brain floated in a nutrient-rich bath in the White House basement while waiting for the appropriate donor body. In terms of the uncanny valley, the robot occupied a bungalow next to a rusty toaster. It had 6 road wheels, a cubic body, LCD screen showing a smiley face, and 1 elastomer arm for shaking hands. Its voice transmitted from the White House sounded like Stephen Hawking with laryngitis. I couldn't remember one word of its speech. It was the tofu of speeches, the boiled rice of speeches, the overcooked oatmeal of speeches. After he finished, Fillmore's wheels caught on the edge of the stage, forcing 3 Secret Service agents to carry him down the stairs. And I'll stop there. If you want to read the rest, you can follow the link in the chat, and I'll take you to the story.
Thank you, John. I'll definitely follow it. And let's see what we have next. Give me one sec. Here we go. Whoops. What's happening here? Please don't do that. Oof.
Okay,
give me a second. You have to give me a second here. Okay, I can't seem to. I'm having issues with my computer. I can't get to the windows. But Bill Lewis was next, so Bill, you go ahead. You just might not be in speaker view.
Oh, can I share? May I share my screen, please?
Oh, this is the. I'm having an issue where my computer is going black, and I can't. Every time
Don't worry.
Yeah, I'm having an issue right now.
It would have been nice. Anyway, as I was talking about, I had taken a whole bunch of money and bribed Chris Ferrone into writing some articles, which he actually really wanted to write anyway, and he just my money was just the push that he needed to be able to fund the damn thing. But anyway, we now have an introduction and 2 articles out about the unhoused in Cambridge. And the latest article is about the homeless camp that burned down. In 5 minutes, everything was burned down. And somehow this didn't make the papers. Nobody talked about it, absolutely hidden. And the people just moved on to another camp.
You're able to share now, Bill.
Oh, okay. And then I will show you the front of those 2 articles because I thought it was a great thing to see there. So there you should be seeing the front of the article about the camp that burned down. And there it is. That's all I wanted to show you. And so I'm pleased that, wow, they're really doing something. And folks in Cambridge might be feeling a little bit uncomfortable with things, but we'll see what goes from there. I am now going to read an ancient story from my marvelous book entitled, there we go, there I am as a pirate. You can see I'm very dangerous. This is Somerville Art Beat. I don't know if you all remember the Art Beat from the 1920s, 20 somethings. Yeah, the 20-aughts. I get the kids. Dozens of kids, maybe hundreds, all excited and running and laughing and splashing. Kid heaven, and it was all mine. I had been to the opening show of Art Beat Friday night when it was announced that they could use a few extra volunteers the next day. Super. I'm new to Somerville and I want to get involved. So I come early and get the assignment to assist with the dunk tank. They told me some folks from the Department of Public Works were running it, and the leading lights of Somerville would be getting wet for charity. His Anna. Mayor Kurikone was going to be there to be dunked. Cool. Arriving in the place, there were no DPW directors to report to. There was, however, a parent who had already set his kid on the seat, and several youngsters eager to start tossing. No time to lose. I checked out the equipment, drafted a parent to organize the dunkies, and got the throwers in line, and we were off, with me as cheerleader in front, a parent in the back, and Jared on the wet seat. The balls came flying. Little Ann, 6 years old, was eager to toss. That's Jared. You want to get Jared wet? She laughed and tossed, and Jared went splash. Wild applause erupted. Todd was ready to throw. Then Jane, Lucy, and a kid in a Red Sox cap. You look like Kurt Schilling. No, I like Manny. Man on fire, I yelled, and Jared comes splashing down again. Jared scrambled back up as I incite the growing mob. Let me see a wind-up. You call that a wind-up? Come on, swing those arms. A giant wind-up and pitch goes clear over the backstop. Everybody laughs. Jared was a trooper, 45 minutes on the seat. A few other preteens joined him in the lineup. Look, you get a dry one. You want to dunk Nathan? Yeah, let's get out a rip. About half the time, my mind is focused on the somewhat suspect seat flash. Calmly, clearly, I think. I make sure that the parents, I keep drafting new parents as the old ones drift away, keep small fingers out of the latch. While the other half of me is dancing like a madman. You call that a pitch? You should play for the New York Yankees. You're so bad. Chants of Dunk William resound across the fair as he gets his. The line of dunkies is growing faster than the line of dunkers. Nathan, Reed, Lucy, Ed, Dom, Roxanne with brilliant red berries. Josh, Jake, John, Judy, everyone is laughing and yelling, and a pile of kids hurtle next to the tank to enjoy the splash rebounds. A girl recognizes me and waves wildly, telling her friends that I'm the substitute teacher that they had so much fun with last week. I hope that's what she was saying. I'm still paranoid about that latch, trying to keep it under control, even as the kids are crowding up on the bench. After each splash, I direct them away from it while standing carefully in front of the target, and then all right under my watch, it bites. Not badly be enough to hurt. I wonder if somebody might get sued for this one. But if doesn't happen, the next field commission is a fantastic woman who knows exactly what to do. Things are under control again, and life is good. The kids are having a ball. I am yelling silly things, and everybody is giggling. Say hi, Josh. Say bye, Josh. Splash. A couple of grown-ups do a dunk each, but it's the kids who are running the show. I'm introducing every dunker to every donkey, and I'm getting all the names wrong, but who cares? They're happy. It's totally insane. I'm backing up big kids, bringing little ones forward, holding the tiny ones so they can dunk somebody. I'm yelling and joking and instructing them to make faces, and the entire world is compressed to one tank of water, 3 yellow balls, and a pile of happy children. At 4 p.m., the crowd dissipates. I drop the seat, disconnect the latch, and put up a closed sign and stagger back to report. I didn't really see much of the artwork nor hear a lot of the music, but I sure had a heck of a time. I love Somerville.
Thank you, Bill. And now let's have Nancy press *6 and unmute herself.
Hovers over us. Moon shadows blackness. I cannot breathe, and I am blind. Darkness blankets death. Sunlight awakens me. Dark clouds with rain pours upon me, soaking me. Rainbow.
You're muted, Chad.
I said, apparently when I put the hell background up in my Well, first of all, I said, nice job, Nancy. But then I said, apparently when I put the hell background on my computer, it also causes my computer to act like it is also in hell, but it is product of hell. But my computer seems to be holding now. And I want to finish off the round robin tonight while I still can with James Van Loy one more time.
Okay. This is called Status Quo. Status quo, that rigid set of practices that governs the access to holy sites of the three Abrahamic faiths. Oh, yes, rock my soul in the bosom of Abraham. So wide you can't get around it, so low you can't get under it, so high you can't get over it. Like we used to sing at YMCA camp. Oh, rock my soul, rock my soul, rock my soul. Oh, rock my soul. Time and space so carefully apportioned, each side of each wall, each meeting place on the many floors, each hollow of ceiling over the various sectarian differences, all the divides of parsing of belief somehow sort of mostly coexisting together in one holy city center of the world on the old world maps before anyone even heard of America, actually, even including the American Indians. So I question, I guess, what was the status quo ante as Condoleezza Rice, a giant oil tanker ship named after her, who then went on and on about the birth pangs of a new Middle East in Bush double-aught years of Iraq war with elections advocated by Bills Hill. The Clintons rode again and Hamas won. Oops, status quo ante that, you policy wonks. Yes, status quo. One mean mother shmoo moo, really hard to maintain with the settlers besieging the West Bank and the Dome of the Rock. And then there's the bombs falling on the children. Fully half the population of Gaza kids who weren't even born yet when Hamas won the election and put down the coup and were very much permitted by the Israeli hardliners, very much now in power, as a way to disempower secular Palestine Authority. Oh, status quo. Don't mention any of that. Put it all away. Just another manifestation of evil. Perish the thought. Oppression inspires resistance. Mass bombing from above will never win hearts and minds. That was obvious back in World War I when they dropped them from gas balloons. Not to mention the London Blitz, but then Hiroshima, Nagasaki, and Tokyo, Korea, and Vietnam should have made it status quo, bombing people will surely, ever so certainly, just make them resist. Status quo, resistance. Status quo. Rock my soul in the bosom of Abraham. Rock my soul in the bosom of Abraham. Rock my soul in the bosom of Abraham. Oh, rock my soul so high you can't get over it, so low you can't get under it, so wide you can't get round it. Oh, rock my soul, rock my soul, rock my soul, rock my soul, oh, rock my soul. Thank you.
Thank you so much, James. And wow, hopefully I'll have more things to announce coming up in the days to follow. And I hope every one of you enjoyed tonight. I'm glad you guys were able to make it on the shortest of notice. One of the shortest notices I've had to give in a while. And hopefully after tomorrow, I'll be able, and hopefully with Friday, now that I'm not going to be trying to boil water to make it potable. I'm going to be out in the wilderness somewhere. I will be working to catch up on stone soup and other things. We'll see what happens. Maybe I still will be out there in the wild. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. But you'll be able to tell by my online activity whether or not I made it there. And hopefully I'll be able to announce one feature coming up and the feature closing for November, and the one opening for December has already been picked. I just haven't announced them yet, but I hope to do that soon as well. And I have some great people to announce in the future. I have someone who's slated to be featuring sometime in June, and someone just said, you know, if you give me enough notice, I'll feature for you sometime in the new year. And it would be great to have them back because, oh, look at this. We have one person who I'd like to, let's see if he's able to get on. Check the participants list. Yeah, oh, there we go. He's got a new logo too. It's General Recent Brian Franco. A favorite here. Sir, we were just
a favorite. Wow, that just, you're just gonna give me a fucking ego, excuse me.
Well, it's good to have you here. I'm having technical difficulties, so we're going to be closing out soon. But I would love for you to, have the closing out poems tonight. You can do 2 or 3 if you want, because everyone's already done their.
I just have to pull some stuff up because I just got home.
Not a problem. So hopefully, no later than Monday, we'll be announcing this December feature, and hopefully before whatever happens for Veterans Day, we'll be able to announce that as well. And give me a sec. My computer's on its last leg, so there we go. It's kind of a miracle everything's working right now. Whoops. Okay, so let me make sure. All right, this is working. Well, my computer's going to need a reboot and an update. By the way, John, that link I sent you, you may not want to click it. Just finding that link seems to have had ramifications. But that's what happens when you use Newgrounds. Kind of forgot how evil that site was. Now let me see if I can get the participants up again, see if anyone else is waiting to join by the phone. It does not appear to be the case. I guess if anyone who's in the local area of Massachusetts, there's Oddball Magazine's going to be having I think they're calling it the Gobble Wobble, which is another nice way of saying turkey shoot. It's basically an opportunity to win turkeys and hopefully donate a couple from the local businesses. Not really poetry related, but it's a lot of fun. I'll probably post some information on that on the Stone Soup page later on. As a matter of fact, the Oddball Group is having Oddball Foundation is having a meeting on that, so I might go to that if I can get my computer back on again. Oops. And from John Wesick to everyone. Here we go. Is that the one where they drop live turkeys out of a helicopter? I don't think, well, maybe, except we don't, it's only Oddball Foundation. Its basis is a poetry magazine, so maybe the roof of a local school. I don't think we can afford the helicopter. Mr. Franco, have you found anything yet? Oh,
so I have 3 pieces that have been written over the last 3 days, and so I will all in workshops. So they're still rough around the edges, and I don't think they even have titles yet. So I'll do this one first. Is it worth the salt in my tears to cry over spilt coffee? Right now, I am typing this accounting of a chain of events stemming from another chain of events on the least expensive external Bluetooth keyboard I could buy from my local Staples, which only had 3 external keyboards in stock when I went to buy this one. When I think about what happened, it was both a tragic and innocuous event. I was preparing a set of poems to read at the Easton Book Festival in Pennsylvania the day before the 7-hour road trip that took 10 hours to drive because of the Cross Bronx Expressway and New Jersey. I spilled canned nitro cold brew coffee on my laptop's keyboard. Currently, several numbers and letters no longer work. I called HP Tech support, who told me to drain out any excess coffee from the laptop by letting it sit upside down for an hour, and that my extended warranty I had bought doesn't cover hardware. This laptop was actually a replacement laptop I bought at Walmart when I sent my old laptop for repair to HP, a repair which had to be repeated just over 3 months later, which HP refused to re-repair, leaving me with a laptop with so much less memory and operating memory, I can't be on camera in the multiple Zoom sessions I participate in daily. I am over a month and a half in with the external keyboard, which can be disorienting to use because it has to sit to the left of my laptop, and I have to constantly shift my stare back and forth from the keyboard to the screen. When I spilled the coffee, my first thought was how much money this would cost me because I can't afford a new laptop. In the grand scheme, only the keyboard was damaged, and it isn't necessary for me to replace this laptop I desperately need to replace. Everything else with the laptop is functioning to the level it was functioning at the time of the great Exxon Valdez coffee spill of 2023, making the incident more innocuous than tragic, I guess. Okay, poem 2. I have fallen into the abyss of depression and managed to reverse spelunk my way out several times during my lifetime. Depression, which is always waiting in the wings of mundanity as a surprising, boo, guess who, monster, has found that the monster approach is no longer a viable option. It prefers subtlety. Rather than the act of staying in bed, it prefers to draw out the act of getting out of bed. When I am sitting with my feet on the floor and my tush on the mattress, it tells my brain to disorganize my day into a game of 52 pickup, always adding extra jokers in the deck because it prints out the cards the night before on an inkjet printer. Of course, if I try to just walk over the cards, which are printed on upcycled banana peels, I will likely slip and land on my tailbone, which would require an I've fallen and can't get up call to 911, which would lead to an expensive ambulance to an expensive emergency room, which would likely become a denied claim by my insurance company, which chooses which claims to deny based on how to achieve higher dividends for its shareholders. And of course, the cards require I sort them in suits in hierarchy of order of card value in order for them to fit back in the box before I can lift my tush off the mattress so I can put my one foot in front of the other for my pilgrimage to a bathroom sink where I can brush my teeth. And one more, which is right here. All it takes to leave is putting one foot in front of the other. Simple enough, right? It's something I do every day. I walk. But to walk away takes more than legs and feet. Walking away often takes constitution. Walking away means the ground you choose to walk on may start off as freshly poured cement that has yet to dry, that wants your feet to stay permanently rather than leaving footprints. Walking away can turn solid ground into psychological quicksand, sinking your soul into a familiar you know is false comfort. It is how something sweet can leave an unexpected bitter aftertaste over and over and over and over again, but you feel compelled to return to the sweet despite how the bitter starts to become part of your disposition. Thank you. I cannot hear you, Chad.
Sorry, I've been having computer issues, so sometimes I can see my own screen or myself, and sometimes I can't. So I forget to mute even more. But I'll be about to restart my computer after this recording is saved. It'll be up on YouTube tomorrow between 8:30 and 9. Thanks to everyone who came out tonight, and thanks for all your patience, and thanks for sticking with me and coming here on short notice. And we're going to do the obligatory wave. Obligatory wave, obligatory wave. You don't have to smile. But and now we have we'll hopefully have some more announcements coming.
Chad, your audio just dropped out.
Can't hear you. Night, everybody.
Good night.
Looks like my thing's crashing, so I'll see you next time.
Bye.